I look at the Cleveland Browns and Cincinnati Bengals, right? I do study them because, I always said the Bengals aren't even a good team. How they got to the Super Bowl was the biggest fluke ever. Everything had to go right for them to get there. And, I study it because I looked at the Cleveland Browns dismantle the Cincinnati Bengals 41-16, right? Destroy them. Make Joe Burrow look like like he did his rookie year. Terrible, right? Just completely annihilated, right? So I look at that game. I just rewatched it, right? And I looked at every scenario. And my contingent's always been that if Baker Mayfield don't go down with the season-ending, basically with that injury, we win that division. The Bengals ain't even there. Now, the facts of the matter is this. I went position by position with the Bengals and Browns, and you only got us beat by 2 positions. And it's very simple. You got the kicker over us and the fucking wide receivers. Wide receiver and kicker, that's it. We got the quarterback, we got the running backs, we got everything. We got everything. And proof is in the pudding. We destroyed you guys twice this year. The first game was a bludgeoning. It looked promising for you from the start, but weak arm Burrow threw that cupcake pass that D Ward took to the house, and that changed the whole fucking game. Because you were driving the ball. You were driving the ball in your scripted plays. But guess what? After that, we solved the riddle. And we actually owned the Bengals. I think we beat them the last 7 times or something like that. But that's why injuries are so key in the NFL. Because if Cleveland's quarterback don't get injured, that changes the whole goddamn scenario. We win that division, and we are where the Cincinnati are right now. But the only difference is we're actually favored to win the Super Bowl because the Bengals, they don't have a chance in the Super Bowl. And I'll go into that detail in another video, but I don't see any scenarios where the Bengals can even make this a competitive game. I just don't see it. But what I seen from the Cleveland Browns against Cincinnati was a defense that had Joe Burrow looking like a fucking rookie. I've seen an offense that just picked apart that fucking defense to the tune of 41-16, and it very well could have been harder to score that, but, there were penalties involved, and Cleveland took the foot off the pedal, typical Stefanski fashion. But, yeah, Cincinnati's on a fluke run. Everything that had to happen happened. They go to the playoffs. The Las Vegas Raiders are their first opponent. How easy did that get? Then you play the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill, and he throws 3 interceptions. And you have to get a game-winning field goal with time expiring to beat a guy who threw 3 interceptions. And then you go to Kansas City. You're getting blown out 21-3, and then all of a sudden Pat Mahomes, for some magical conjunction, shits the bed. He shits the fucking bed. And everything that had to happen for you guys to get where you are happened. Now, you're probably telling me what's going to happen the next time. Matt Stafford's going to shit the bed. No, that's not going to happen because the difference between Matt Stafford and Patrick Mahomes is infinite. Patrick Mahomes has always been a backyard quarterback. This plays backyard football. If you notice, when he's on the run, he makes good throws, but if he's in that pocket, he's terrible. And, the Bengals defense is terrible, but in the second half, they had Mahomes confused, but I think it was more or less Mahomes just shitting the bed because he's seen that defense multiple times this year, and he's beat that defense multiple times this year, playing that same way. So, like I said, if you go through position by position, and the proof is in the pudding because we 2-0 against them this year, we have every position on the board better than Cincinnati, except for kicker, which is an important, integral part of the game, and receivers. They got excellent receivers. No doubt about it. You can't, I can't, even when we had Beckham, they got excellent receivers. So I give the Bengals props for having receivers. But you got to understand something, Cincinnati. You do know this reverts back to the normal Cincinnati Bengals next year. You do know that now. Because you can't count on the Cleveland Browns losing their quarterback all season. You can't count on Lamar Jackson shitting the bed all season. I can, but you can't. And I guess you can't count on the Steelers for being terrible. Because you do own the Steelers, I'll give you that. You own the Steelers. But the Cleveland Browns own you. And next year, we'll be right where you're at. And we'll be favored. And we will win. But yeah, like I said, everything that had to happen for Cincinnati happened, so. And, I give him credit for capitalizing. I will say that. I do like, you do got one position better than us. Zach Taylor is definitely better than Stefanski. I don't like Zach Taylor. I think he hinders your offense a little bit, but he's definitely better than Stefanski. There's no doubt about it. He's a 10 times better coach. It ain't even close. There's no doubt about it. 10 times better. And I will tell you this. If you had Mayfield in the playoffs right now, you wouldn't have struggled against the Las Vegas Raiders, and you definitely wouldn't have got sacked 9 times. Mayfield would have you would have beat the fucking Titans at least by 30 with Mayfield. And against the Titans, you would have never, or not the Titans, but the Chiefs, you would have never fell behind 21-3 with Mayfield. That's a fact. The difference between Mayfield and Burrow are infinite. Mayfield's you're just typical pocket passer, poise in the pocket, when he's healthy. He wasn't healthy this year, and I think you guys know that. But you look at both the quarterbacks by just a comparison of the pocket awareness. Mayfield hasn't beat. Burrow scrambles a little better. He's faster, but Mayfield he works that pocket so much better, so much accurate. The arm strength. It's just so. If you had Mayfield, you guys would have definitely been in a cakewalk also playoffs. So anyway, that's my sermonization. I will give you a playoff prediction, Super Bowl prediction here pretty soon. So.